If you asked my students what it's like being in a gamified classroom, they would look at you with blank stares. They don't play games continuously. There are no avatars, badges, or leaderboards. Actually, when I first learned about gamification, I thought, no way, this isn't for me. But over the next year, as I started thinking about how people learn and the things I wanted to change in my classroom, certain elements of gamification kept popping up. First and foremost, my personal philosophy of learning centers on formative assessment. It's all about starting where students are in their own learning and offering support and guidance so they progress towards the end of course outcomes. The only grade my students ever see is the final exam mark. Because of this, and the fact that I don't have a gamer mindset, avatars and leaderboards were not a good fit. But after you strip these away, games are essentially based on many of the formative assessment principles I wanted my classroom to exemplify. So Avi Spector and I set out to see how gaming principles could make the course goals visible and accessible in order to help students become active participants in their own learning. Games are excellent at making the objectives clear and showing how close you are to reaching them. While I did not need leaderboards or point systems, I still had to have a way to represent the goal in relation to the end of course outcomes. I chose 5 stars to represent a continuum for each competency, with the goal to reach a minimum of 3 stars in order to be ready for the exam. Each course has a progress tracking sheet that displays an overall picture of where the student is for each competency. There is also a student-friendly list of course goals that is used to track and visually show students where they are in relation to specific elements and skills required by a particular competency. Similar to gaming, differentiation and challenge are built in. Students are always targeting specific areas they need to improve on throughout the assignments and are challenged to make progress in their learning. Learning is also self-paced with a variety of choice. This is because students target their personal needs even when working on whole class assignments, and most of these can be completed in a variety of ways as long as the required elements are present. It is okay to fail in a game. They give you instant feedback and the opportunity to try again right away. Having no marks means that students are provided with a continuous variety of corrective feedback, so they are always failing up. Even if what they have done is not where they hoped it would be, there is no sense of failure that an associated mark could bring. Instead, students realize that they are always building on what they know. They understand that the best learning comes from analyzing mistakes to figure out how to move forward. Like video games, you are always trying to get to the next level, and you learn something new every time you try. Gamifying formative assessment provided me with a concrete way to track student learning. It has also provided students with a visual representation of the course goals. Ultimately, it is a way to identify where students are in their learning and what they need to work on so that they can assume responsibility for their progress.